Welcome to The Explainer. You know that feeling when you look at the state of the world and just feel completely overwhelmed, but you still want to do something? Well, you're in the right place. We're going to dive into a really powerful strategy for making a difference that doesn't start out there, but right here with you.
Believe it or not, this was a real question on a final exam. And, as wild as it sounds, it totally nails that feeling we were just talking about, right? That sense of being stuck, that the problems are just too big.
But what if the real problem isn't just the world itself? What if it's the way we've been wired to think about it? We get caught in this mental trap, a kind of default way of looking at any conflict, from a global crisis all the way down to a fight with your family.
Yeah, this probably looks pretty familiar, doesn't it? This is our default mode. It's all us versus them. It's competitive, it's totally focused on the short term, and it's built on this core belief that for me to win, you have to lose. And honestly, this is the very mindset that keeps us all stuck in the mud. So how in the world do we get out of this trap? Well, the answer isn't some brand new idea, but actually a classic piece of wisdom that gives us a powerful strategy for real change. It's all about a turning point in how we decide to use our energy.
So many of us have heard the Serenity Prayer, but let's really look at it as a practical, strategic tool. Accepting the things you can't change. That's not about giving up. It's about being smart. It's about deciding to stop wasting your precious energy on battles you can't win so you can focus it where you actually have power.
Look, you can't go back and change history, and you definitely can't control what other people do or say, but you have absolute 100% control over your own responses, your own mindset, and how you choose to show up in any situation. That is where your real power is.
Okay, so if we're going to focus our energy on the things we can change, what does that actually look like? Well, it all starts with adopting a new way of thinking, a whole new paradigm, and getting ourselves a brand new set of tools for dealing with conflict. And this right here shows the whole shift perfectly. We move from us versus them thinking to us with them. Instead of just looking out for number one in the short term, we start searching for shared long-term goals. Power isn't about having it over someone, it's about building it with them. In conflict, get this, it's not something to run away from. It's actually an opportunity to grow. This is really the heart of the peace builder's mindset.
A great way to think about this is like having a Swiss Army knife for peace building. You're not going to use the little scissors for every single job, right? But having all those different tools gives you way more options than just that default us versus them hammer. So let's check out a couple of these tools. First up, there's a tool called calling in. So instead of publicly shaming someone or calling them out, which, let's be honest, just makes everyone defensive, this approach is about inviting them into a private conversation. It's all about creating an actual space for dialogue and learning, not just scoring points in an argument. And here's another one that's so simple but incredibly powerful. Rotary's four-way test. Before you speak or act when things are tense, just quickly run what you're about to do through these four questions. It's like a little ethical compass that helps keep your response on a constructive path.
And what about those moments when you feel that flash of anger or you're about to say something you'll regret? Try this. It's kind of like stop, drop, and roll for conflict. Just remember three words. Stop, think, build peace. Seriously, this simple little mantra can break that knee-jerk reaction and give you just enough space to choose a much better response.
At the end of the day, all of these tools, this whole new way of looking at things, it all comes down to one single, really powerful choice. A choice about where real, lasting change actually begins. This line from an old folk song just says it all, doesn't it? The only thing any of us can truly hope to control is our own life, our own thoughts, our own actions. Peace isn't going to magically appear from some treaty or law. It has to start with us. Let it begin with me. You know, in our culture, we're obsessed with this idea of scaling up, like a tech company. But this way of thinking suggests we need to do the opposite first. We need to go to scale inwardly. Before we can really hope to change the world around us, the real work has to start inside ourselves.
Look, being a peace builder isn't some fancy title you earn or a certificate you put on your wall. It's not reserved for a special few. It is simply a conscious decision that you make, and then it's a practice that you live out day by day. It's a journey anyone can start right here and right now.
So, I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. The world is complicated, right? So how will you choose to complicate the narrative today?
How will you resist those easy, simple stories of us versus them and instead create a little more space for a better, more human, more hopeful outcome? The choice, as always, is yours.